welcome, science fiction fans, to another installment of That Sci-Fi Guy. Today, we're going to follow Keanu Reeves as he runs from an oppressive authority that's trying to capture him at all cost. He discovers an underground resistance movement, and with their help, he just might be able to hack his way out of this mess. No, not this gag again, Johnny Mnemonic. We're talking about Keanu's first run-in with lowlife and high-tech. This movie was based on a short story by one of the godfathers of science fiction, William Gibson.
Through short stories like Johnny Mnemonic and his sprawl novels, including Neuromancer, Gibson created the cyberpunk genre, which depicts a dystopian future where man meets machine and info warriors battle each other in cyberspace.
Well, let's jack in and see how that translates to a 90s action movie. Scrolling text? Where they just dump one of Gibson's novels into PowerPoint? You know, I really hate it when I have to start off a movie by reading paragraphs of text. It seriously interferes with my ability to eat popcorn. And it's just way too much work for mindless entertainment. Oh well, I guess I can suffer through this for the sake of the viewers. Blah blah, corporations, blah, horrible disease, blah. Okay, wait, are the low-techs waiting in their strongholds, or are they like rats in the walls? I guess maybe they're in rat strongholds.
There's your problem! There's a rat stronghold in here!
Yeah, so anyway, wet-wired implants? So they're using part of his brain to store the information. Okay, but couldn't they have just shown us that in the movie? Internet, 2021. Of course, in the Gibson novels that was actually called The Matrix, but let's not harp. So here we meet our anti-hero, Johnny. A guy who dumped a large part of his memory in order to be an information smuggler. Courier. And now he wants it all back. His fixer, Ralphie, informs him that, unfortunately, they've upped the price of the restoration procedure.
If you don't want it all back, I think they will come down.
If I just wanted the silicon dug out of my back brain, I could go to Mexico City.
One more run, Johnny, and then you could cover it.
Just one more run before he can retire? What could possibly go wrong? So Johnny heads to Beijing for the pickup. As he walks from the dirty rides in the streets to the upper-class world of the luxury hotel, we really get a sense of the income disparity in this world. Riding up the elevator, he uses a doubler to increase the storage capacity of his biotech implant.
Warning, do not exceed capacity.
When he arrives at the hotel room, he's greeted by some rather nervous amateurs.
Double cheese anchovies?
Who want to load him up with twice the data of his already doubled storage capacity.
It is extremely dangerous. If the upload volume exceeds your storage capacity, synaptic seepage can kill you in 2 or 3 days. Plus, the data may be corrupted and coherent download will be impossible.
Man, that sounds pretty bad, Johnny. I think it might be a good idea for you to pass on that.
We don't have a problem with that, okay?
All right. Suicidal tendencies for profit, I guess.
Click on 3 frames off the TV. They'll meld with the data and I won't know what they are. That's a download code. Hit me.
3 random images from the TV. I've definitely seen worse passwords.
So the combination is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the stupidest combination I ever heard in my life!
Where's the bathroom?
Yeah, I'd probably shit myself too if somebody just shoved 320 gigs of data into my brain. While Johnny is bleeding and doing Tai Chi. Or is that waterbending? Whatever. The bad guys are closing in. Yakuza tough guys have been hired by Pharmacom to retrieve their stolen data. Corporations hiring armed mercenaries? I guess that gives a whole new meaning to hostile takeover. But it's not like that could ever happen in real life.
Blackwater USA, a secretive private military company based in North Carolina. Blackwater has close ties to the White House, the largest private military base in the world, a fleet of 20 aircraft, and 20,000 soldiers.
Okay, point taken. So the Yakuza bust in and shoot the crap out of everybody. We also get to see the main bad guy's monomolecular whip in action. Okay, that's pretty badass. But this isn't Johnny's first rodeo, and while the noobs are getting owned, he's able to get away by successfully rolling his disguise check. So after one flight, and a trip through the TSA,
Scan.
At least he didn't have to take off his shoes. And we've moved on to Newark. Johnny suddenly discovers that actions have consequences, and proceeds to freak out.
Johnny boy my ass, what's the fucking score here?
But Ralphie assures him that everything's chill. He just needs to make it to the drop-off point so they can extract the data.
Data.
I'm way overloaded, man. You would not believe how much.
I don't know, man. Ralphie seems a bit slimy to me.
You told me you got upgraded.
And he is played by Udo Kier.
To know death, Otto, you have to fuck life in the gallbladder.
Back at his club, Ralphie's douchebag status is pretty much confirmed.
I could have done ya. Time you hired yourself some young and fast.
You mean like you?
I'm the fastest thing going now. Spiders jack my system.
Ever considered something a little less actively physical?
Like on your back, babe?
On your knees.
You know, something tells me he probably doesn't have Johnny's best interest at heart. Johnny shows up, and surprise, surprise, Ralphie set him up. You mean Udo Kier betrayed you?
Inconceivable!
He gets away with some help from the local low-tech leader, J-Bone, who dispatches one of the bad guys with a cool surgical tubing knife throwing thing. Now it's time to pay Ralphie a visit.
Charlie! They were waiting for me, Ralphie. Two big, nasty men.
Unfortunately, he forgot to check his blind spot for transvestite bodyguards.
Not on the head!
Our razor girl, Jane, sees them dragging Johnny back to the room and smells an opportunity.
Hooky, give me my shit.
Naked lady statues and rusty black diamond plate steel. The perfect mixture for industrial class. So the Yakuza is preparing to chop off Johnny's head when Jane drops in on their little party.
I slit his fucking throat, bitch.
So? Other guy gonna cut his whole head off.
Johnny promises $50,000 to Jane if she helps him escape, and Ralphie gets to learn the hard way that karma is a bitch. Now that was pretty damn cool. You know, sometimes I do miss the days when movies actually used practical effects. Digital effects can be pretty awesome, but there's definitely something to be said for real guts spilling on the floor. Out of bullets and on the run? It's the perfect time for Johnny to have a seizure and pass out.
Oh man, you are fucked up severe.
When he comes to...
Oh, it's just my stuff. Mace, throwing spikes, a grenade, everything a girl needs.
It's time for Plan B.
I want to get out of this rat hole.
Wasn't it a stronghold?
I want to get online. I need a computer.
So they break into a local electronics store and Johnny builds himself a cyber deck.
I need a Sinologic 60, a GPL stealth module, one Birdine intelligent translator, and Thompson iPhones.
Thompson iPhones? Man, I guess everything really went to shit after Steve Jobs died. So Johnny needs to hack the fax buffer. Wait, they still use fax machines? Whatever. So he can see who his contact was supposed to have been. Hold on. I know you just built a badass cyber deck, but I don't think Radio Shack is going to have hacking software on aisle 3.
No, but the Stuffer Shack might.
Quiet, you. Johnny is able to track down the fax to a local copy shop. Nothing got through, but it was destined for Dr. Allcombe. Nice, a digital facepalm. Having struck out with the fax, he contacts a local hacker that owes him a favor. He's told that the data in his head belongs to Pharmacom, but little else.
Pharmacom?
Unfortunately, the bad guys have traced his connection and drop a virus on him. And direct the Yakuza to his door. Good thing Jane had her pink hand grenade. Yakuza hate pink. Hello Kitty? It's like their kryptonite. At this point, the main bad guy's boss is getting annoyed, and decides to call in a much scarier villain. The Street Preacher, played by Dolph Lundgren.
You need someone brought to Jesus?
Or to you?
Oh man, I am strapped for cash. Could you maybe bring him to Moses instead for, like, half price?
You really a preacher, J-Bone?
That son of a bitch doesn't have one natural bone left in his body. That motherfucker got God and technology ass backwards.
Running out of options, Johnny decides to set up a meeting with Pharmacom. But it turns out Jane has NAS. After having her seizure, Johnny has to decide whether he wants to make the meeting with Pharmacom or stay and get her some help. She tells him that her street doc, Spider, can help both of them. So they're off to see the wizard, who in this case is played by Henry Rollins.
Information overload! All the electronics around you poisoning the airwaves! Technological fucking civilization! But we still have all this shit, cause we can't live without it.
And of course it wouldn't be Henry Rollins without a barrage of F-bombs.
That is so fucking weak. What a bunch of sellouts. I hate their guts. So what? You're not a fucking moron, are you? You think that paycheck is in any way a slight to their integrity? Are you fucking kidding me?
I bet Henry Rollins has really bad bedside manner, but he does take Johnny's insurance.
Who the fuck are you anyway?
Johnny.
Johnny who?
Just Johnny. It looks like a full-service shop here. How are you on brain implants?
We don't get much of that out here in Newark, Just Johnny. Kind of upscale for us, you know?
So Spider throws Johnny up on the flashy machine and, ooh, side boob. Spider says it's bad. Real bad.
With his seepage, if I could work a download, I don't know if the product would be coherent.
Fuck the product. I just want it out.
But he can take Johnny to Dr. Allcome. Ow! Chainmail without a bra? Yeah, that's gotta chafe. Aha! Orthoskin nipples. Meanwhile, the street preacher manages to torture Spider's name and location out of Hookie. He catches them leaving the clinic, and Spider jams on the accelerator, running his ass over. Wait a second, the cliché guide to action movies clearly indicates that you slam on the brakes. This allows the villain to get a hand in the door and menace you just before you barely get away.
Jesus.
Amen. So they take the mystery machine to some kind of crazy slum hospital. Henry Rollins then puts on a lab coat so that we know we're supposed to take him seriously now.
You put a mature man in a suit and tie, call him a doctor or a scientist, and anything that comes out of his mouth will be believed by someone.
Followed by a brief tour of the NAS sufferers. Hold on. They've spent multiple scenes now explaining to us Johnny's implants, the low-techs, and NAS. You know, as a matter of fact, they've done a pretty good job showing us just about everything they put into that scrolling text in the beginning. Why was it there?
This was artist Robert Longo's first and only time directing a movie, and the first time that William Gibson had adapted his work for the screen. They set out to create a gritty alternative comedy that poked fun at action movies, while the studio wanted a blockbuster action movie like Speed. After seeing Longo and Gibson's first cut, the executive said the film was, quote, incomprehensible. Rather than use their Final Cut authority to modify it, the executives turned all the raw footage to the American distributor and had them completely recut the film.
Well, I guess that does kind of explain the opening text and the Pulp Fiction pacing and really a lot of the mismatched tones.
Where's Dr. Allcome?
Dr. Allcome is a name used in hospitals when we got a major problem and don't want to spook the patients.
What?
Dr. Allcome toward 7.
It turns out that Johnny is carrying the cure for NAS, and Spider was actually his original buyer.
That fax was meant for us.
Convenient. Pharmacom has had the cure for months, but they make more money treating the disease than curing it. Spider can't download the data, but he does have another idea.
No, but I can get it out.
How?
The general anesthetic, a cranial drill, and a pair of forceps.
And I could die too, right?
It's gonna kill you anyway when it ruptures. I take it out, you'll probably survive. You'll probably lose some fine motor skills. You might not be able to remember anything for more than 3 minutes at a time.
Fuck that.
Before Spider has a chance to talk Johnny into becoming a martyr for the cause, that comes rolling in.
The cure is mine! Behold your savior!
Yeah, I think his upgrades are better than hers. Johnny and Jane get away, but the preacher immediately starts torturing Spider to find out where they were headed.
He's that guy who fucks your mother.
Johnny arranges a meeting with Pharmacom at the Low-Tech's rat stronghold. But it turns out he was talking to the Yakuza big boss and his cyber puppet. You know, Johnny hasn't had any food since he got to Newark, and I'm sure he's pretty tired what with the whole running from people constantly trying to cut your head off thing. I think it's about time for a meltdown.
I want room service! I want the club sandwich. I want the cold Mexican beer. I want a $10,000 a night hooker!
I want my shirts laundered. Like they do at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo.
So Jane takes him to the Low-Techs where Johnny meets Jones.
The way the Navy got him hooked up, he cuts through hard encryption like a knife cuts through butter.
Codebreaker. Good. Can't wait to meet him. It's a fish.
Jones has set up the sample software from enemy subs. infrasound scan. Right through the hull.
Frankly, I liked him better on Sequest, but everyone wants a movie career.
Jones will feed you can opener codes. We'll try to get you out in time.
Wait a minute. Have you done this before? As the fish? How dangerous is this?
Just keep your head still. Move around too much, could microwave your frontal lobe.
And here come the Yakuza. You know, they're doing ninja stuff, but I've never seen a ninja wear a safety helmet. It is nice to see that the Shadow World is becoming more inclusive of the differently abled. Their infiltration is going pretty well until a dying low-tech triggers one of the Rat Stronghold's booby traps. This kills Tank Girl's boyfriend, so she starts shooting rockets blindly into the structure, killing Low-Techs and her teammates alike. J-Bone puts an end to that with a crossbow sniper shot, but the rocket volley has caused technical difficulties. And now it's time for the boss fights! First up, the dude with the whip of death! He and Johnny fight until they get into a situation where Johnny can use that whip against him. And with poetic justice on his side, Johnny cuts his head off. Hey kids, you know what time it is?
Jesus time.
Oh man, here comes that one-liner. Let's see, you're fired, he's toast, or time to meet your savior. You just got crucified. No?
Jane!
Nothing? Huh. So now, with 2 of the 3 images in the access code, the only thing left for Johnny to do is hack into his own brain. J-Bone starts up his pirate signal so they can live stream it.
This is the last blast from Low-Tech World Headquarters. And believe this, we're going out with a bang, baby. So get your VCRs ready.
VCRs?
We got the cure to NAS.
Johnny recovers the 3rd image, and they broadcast the NAS cure across the globe, kicking off a flash mob, or, I don't know, maybe a fire mob. Oh, no. Seriously?
Just garbage. Get that out of here.
I see what you did there. Well played, movie. Well played. For all the crap that went wrong during the making of this movie, it actually came out really well. The opening text was annoying, and there was some really awkward dialogue. Not to mention there was a subplot with the big Yakuza boss and an AI ghost that didn't really go anywhere. But Johnny Mnemonic is a really enjoyable movie. It's got great art direction, good action beats, and it's funny. And not like cheesy slapstick funny, but like clever action spoof funny.
Get on the table.
What?
Don't be a bigger asshole than you have to. Just get on the table.
It's 16 years old and it still holds up. Except maybe the fax machines and the VCRs. Well, until next time, science fiction fans, here's your sci-fi clip of the day.
Read my
No!
facts!
Please, no, I cannot be fired. I'm fired. Ah!